25 years in the public eye. 25 years of being Nike Oshinowo. In those years, I have experienced both the ups and downs of fame. And so I can truly tell you that it is both a blessing and a curse. Like most things, though, you have to live it to know what I'm talking about. My first guest this evening is Miss Edewor, best known for her work as a presenter on a show called 53 Extra. She has now branched into acting, modeling, and continues to host several TV shows, etc., etc. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to be dazzled by Miss Edewor. Hello, darling.
You look lovely.
You look adorable.
Thank you.
Adorable. You are even taller than I remember you to be.
Yes, I am actually very tall. I think people assume that I'm shorter, but
why?
I don't know. I guess on TV people just think you fit in the
Everyone
box.
is like, yeah, you fit in, yeah, exactly.
You fit in the box, so therefore you should fill a certain height standard.
Are you drinking something? Can I have? We have cognac or we have champagne?
I'll have some champagne.
Good.
I'll keep it light.
You'll keep it light. I'm going to have a bit of cognac. It's a late night show, so we're just going to,
You know,
yeah,
have a little bit of fun. Late night fun.
We try to have a bit of late night fun. So basically, you grew up in Nigeria until the age of 13.
Yes, that's correct.
And then sent off to school.
Boarding school, yes. My parents sent me to boarding school. My mom was very adamant that we would go to boarding school because she just wanted us to have experiences that would help us. And I'm very happy that I went to boarding school because it was there that I was really able to sort of explore entertainment as a possibility, as a profession. Because I think that in Nigeria, you know,
it's a bit more, education is a bit more.
Yeah, it's a bit more, people see education more as you're a lawyer, you know, you're an accountant, you know, very sort of practical degrees. And it was, in the UK, I was able to see that, oh yes, well, entertainment is a business too. It may not look as serious, but it really is as serious when it comes to the bottom line.
Well, you are actually making it in a serious manner. It's not a frivolous career you have.
It can be very challenging, and it can be very challenging because it's not as reliable as a job where you're getting a salary consistently at the end of the month and putting in certain hours. Because as someone in entertainment, you can put in so many hours trying to make it, but you may never get paid, or the opportunities may never arise where you make it. So it's really a business where you have to be very smart about the decisions that you make. About the experiences that you choose, the job opportunities that you take on. I actually went straight into working with a TV producer. I was the arts coordinator for this huge arts festival. It's a student festival, the biggest one in the UK, and I was the arts coordinator. And a film producer that I had invited to screen at the arts festival was like, oh, I think you'd be a great producer. Will you work for me when you finish university? So I said, yes, of course. And I came in, I was his assistant, Damien Jones. He did The Iron Lady.
Yes, we know Damien Jones.
So fantastic independent producer. And from working with him, I saw how much work it was in this business and how really you have to just graft. Literally. I was a runner. I was a runner on a film set. You know, my job was to make sure that everyone had
You started from the bottom.
Everyone had their coffee. You know, that was my job. Make sure everyone had their coffee. And I was literally, you know, hand leading people to set. And it was during that set period that I was watching the actors and I was like, you know, I really want to do that. I miss acting. I'd always wanted to be an actor, but being, you know, working as a producer, I was like, I miss acting, and that's why I decided I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to go to film school and get some training and start the journey of.
You actually have parents that were very supportive.
Yes, but they were even a little bit tentative about it, because I think that my mom's an interior designer, and she was an interior designer almost against her dad's wishes in a sense, because he wanted her to be a doctor. So she was used to sort of breaking away from the mold, and she was even worried for me as a mother. You know, why would you want to be an actor? It's so difficult. You know,
the odds are so small.
Exactly.
So because your mother just wants you to succeed.
Exactly. Why don't you be an interior designer?
Exactly.
You know, this is a practical artist. A practical artist. And I was like, no. I know that there's opportunity. I can do it. And I've always been very stubborn. I don't take no for an answer.
At what point did you do Britain's Next Top Model?
I was actually still at university on summer holidays, and I applied for the show because I was in love with the American version. So when I saw there was a British version, it was the second season, I was like, I have to apply. So when I applied, I never expected to hear anything back. I was still at university when I got the call back. And then I got onto the show. You know, it was a competition that I didn't win, first of all. And it was also a production. So it was a controlled environment in the sense that you're being, I almost encouraged to interact with people you don't want to interact with. You're not allowed time to yourself. You can't read, you can't watch TV. And it's always about being constantly on.
Yes.
And being put in these ridiculous sort of challenges that have nothing to do with the real world in a sense, you know, I mean, but you learn lessons. But
do you think that it was difficult for you because of your background, having been to boarding school, etc., etc.?
Well, I think it was the first time that
you were thinking it through too much.
I think it was the first time that I ever was maybe being from a certain background was almost gimmicky. Yeah. It was almost like you're the well brought up girl.
Exactly.
You're the posh girl. So, and I found that very strange. It was the first time I ever realized that people had a stigma about being from a certain background.
No, all around the world.
Yeah.
We always imagine that it's just in Nigeria. All around the world, the privileged classes get discriminated
But
against.
I was well liked on the show. I think people saw, you know, once they were like, oh, that's her pigeonhole. They were like, oh, she's somebody that wants to win. And but losing was very hard for me. Losing was very hard. I cried a lot.
Aww.
If you've seen the episode where I got eliminated, I cried. I was really, really sort of gutted by the experience. And
what brought you back to Nigeria? Because you've had so many opportunities abroad.
Well, I had just finished school in New York, and it was that moment of where to position myself. And then then my stepfather, who you knew very well, he passed away.
Yes.
So that was really difficult for us because it was such a huge, I guess, such a huge tear in my upbringing since then. Since then, I'd kind of felt that everything was, you know, life was really easy.
No. My darling, I'm going to come sit next to you. When you said life was really easy, it wasn't easy. It was a terrible time because I remember I was living in England. I was living in England with my ex-husband, and I heard, and I literally didn't call. I didn't call you guys, didn't call your mom, I just headed for Nigeria. I just felt I needed to be here with her. And
I mean, he was such a big...
Yes.
It was such a big influence in our life. And so when that happened, I wanted to come back and be with my mom. Yeah. And
isn't it wonderful to have someone impact your life so much?
I mean, it was amazing because you know, I learned a lot about the world from him and being open to experiences. And he was someone I know, if he had lived to see me do this well,
would have been so proud.
He'd have been the first person saying, do it,
so proud. The last thing I remember talking to him and your mom about, to do with you and your sister, your mom was moaning to me about him having, I mean, I think he'd bought you like these Elia coats or something. Yeah. And your mom is like, okay, he just told them they could have these Elia coats. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Of course they can have Elia coats.
I think he just wanted us to have all the best experiences in life because he said that was the only way you'd want to work for them. I moved back to be with my mom.
And you stayed.
And when I was here, I said, you know what, Mom, you know, there's something happening in the entertainment industry. And I definitely think that I could make something of myself here. So I said, just give me a year, give me a year. She was like, no, go back to New York. She said that's where she thought I would excel. She said, stay in America, it's the right market for you. And I said, you know what, let me come home for a year. And while I was working here.
No, but so you came back.
I came back, I worked for This Day. I worked for This Day, first of all.
Oh, okay.
I worked for Arise. And then I was working in my mom's restaurant. And then a friend of mine was like, I know that you're really into acting and performing. There's an audition happening in Mnet for 53 Extra. Go and audition. And literally, I was like, this is my job. You know, I was like, this is my job. I'm going to get it. I'm going to excel. I'm going to do amazingly well. So I literally went there with the most positive and focused mindset. And I got the job.
Isn't that incredible?
I definitely think it was meant to be. And I definitely think, I always think this was, I guess, God's plan. Yes. You know, tragedy happens, and I think that I definitely was in the right place at the right time. So
And you've grown from it.
Yeah, definitely.
You've grown from it.
Definitely.
You know, let me tell you something before we have your sister come on. Do you remember I asked you I think a couple of years ago, and I said, you handle this whole Nigerian thing very well. Very well. And remember when I said, why is that? I said, and you said, it's because you were here until the age of 13. Yeah. Whereas I left when I was 7.
Yeah, I was born, you know, I was really bred here.
Yes.
You know, like, if people who know me, they, you know, everyone thinks that I'm the 53 extra girl.
Yeah.
Who is very sort of well put together, but I'm not. Nah. I always tell people I'm a worry babe.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Lagos girl. Like, you can't put anything over on me. You know, it's in my blood. So when people moan about the little things like, oh, my generator packed in, I'm like, hello.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the smallest thing. That's
exactly.
the smallest thing that, you know, I'm so focused on my goals that dealing with those little things, yes, there are setbacks and there are days when I am frustrated like everybody else.
So do you think that is what has helped you get further here in Nigeria, being able to literally straddle both worlds?
I think so, and I also do think that character, I always say that, you know, lots of people are given different opportunities, a lot of people have different talents. When I first started, I was not the best TV presenter, but I was just so determined, and I think
you have grown, and literally we've seen the growth.
And, and I think they knew that. They knew this is somebody that's going to work very, very hard for what she wants. And I think, so I always say to people that, you know, it's about who you are as a person, whether you want something enough. And let me tell you, when huge things happen in your life that change how you live your life, your character determines how you survive, you know?
That is so profound. Aren't you a little too young to be so profound? Oh my goodness. Those statements are supposed to come from my mouth. No, that is so profound because it's so true.
It is. It is
so true. This Pepsi, this Pepsi.
The chart show.
The chart show.
Yeah.
Because I've actually seen you on that.
Yeah.
Literally, you were made for that.
It's so
Do you know that?
You know, it's so interesting that I always thought I'd start off on a show that was more like the Pepsi show.
That's the best thing I've seen you do.
I always thought I'd start off on that sort of show because it appeals more to my personality. I like to jump around. I'm very energetic. You know, I'm very hyper. I love current affairs. So it was always something I thought I would go into first. It just so happened that 53X was the job that I got first. So now, in this stage of my career, it's about making the choices that are more true to my personality. And I think that's what is exciting, that there's still so much that I have to share with the audience or my public or people around me that they haven't seen. There's mystery. My mom always says that the most attractive women are the ones with lots of mystery.
You know, that she always teases me that, you know, that I've been around forever and ever and ever, yet everybody still wants to know what makes me tick.
Exactly.
Everyone still wants to know, you know, like...
They want to know what's happening up here.
Exactly.
So I think that...
And I say that for as long as you have that air of mystery around you, you're fine. So you are the only member of your family in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
I mean, we've been talking about this other sister. She's actually a twin.
Yes, I'm a twin.
She's actually a twin. I have this fascination with twins, by the way, because I have twins, and they, you know, the best things come in packs of 2, by the way. So we are going to take a quick break. And then after the break, we're going to meet your sister. Yes?
Yes.
Good. Wonderful. Thank you. No, but seriously, do you know what the most fascinating thing about the two of you are? Everyone assumes because you're twins, you're going to be literally 2 peas in a pod. You know, literally both in the same industry, both looking, you know, to do the same things, achieve the same things, but you're actually in 2 different industries.
Yeah, completely.
Completely.
Yeah. I mean, like, I really love George. I love watching Georgie on TV and stuff. But every time when he comes to the camera with me, I just freeze. So, like, I take awful photos. My selfies are horrendous. And so, you know, sometimes you have to just know your strengths. Like, you know what?
Your sense of humor is amazing, by the way. I love.
So I was like, you know, I gotta know your strengths.
She was telling her, you're posing wrong.
You're posing wrong.
I was like, pose right.
It drives me crazy. I'd rather just pull a funny face and just be done with it. Like, do you know what next? And so
and then the look as well. You're very New York.
Yeah.
Right? You're a total California babe.
Yeah,
you know?
I just think easy fashion. I mean, I love fashion, obsessed with fashion, but with me, like, bit of lip gloss, you know, quick shower, shove on something, you're ready to go.
I love the hair.
Oh, thank you. It's just easy, easy.
It's gorgeous. Gorgeous,
Easy.
gorgeous,
This is her look.
gorgeous.
She doesn't brush her hair.
I know. I mean, it's been a struggle since I was a child, so why stop now? You know, at least I
She
stick.
used to cry when she did her hair. The only person that cried.
Yeah, the only person.
they
Like,
did
they used to
her
say,
hair.
"Oh, my mom used to be like, time for the hairdressers," and I used to be like, "No." And so, you know, the good thing about being older is you don't have to brush your hair.
Exactly. Okay, can we have a glass of champagne, please? So how did you choose interior design?
Well, my mother's been has had Showcase Limited. It's a sort of a Nigerian company, an interior design company, and that's been her bread and butter, I say, for the last 30 years. And so I've literally grown up with sort of beautiful surroundings and just naturally assuming that's the way everybody else lives, which is, you know, sort of like everything has to be beautiful.
Beautiful, exactly.
And then I sort of went off into London. When I was in London and I was doing fashion and stuff, and I wasn't really working with anything creative. And I sort of missed that sort of creative interaction, like building, like putting together something beautiful and actually saying, I did that, that's my stamp.
Yes.
When you work for other fashion brands, you sort of like build a brand, but then it's Tom Ford, you know, and you never really know about
it's not yours.
It's never yours, you know, even though you're putting your sweat and blood and tears. And I thought, you know what, I want to do something where they say, this is Kesiana Edewor Thorley, this is her brand, this is what she's done, and you know, take due credit for, you know, so.
Yes, yes, yes. And then also the two of you have, you have separate brands, you know, separate brands. I like that. You know, separate but similar. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I'm actually very proud of you two young ladies.
Thank you.
And what you have become. Your mother must be so proud. So where do you see yourself taking this this interior design?
Well, I want to go back and work with Showcase. I want to carry the company on. I don't want it because I mean my mom's got to the age where she just wants, you know,
Retire.
she wants to retire.
She wants to retire. She wants to
relax and just enjoy, you know, and
enjoy
just
her life.
And you know, we're grown now, we're adults, so I have the platform already built for me. Everything is there. We have the factory, the production team. So I wouldn't move away from that. I wouldn't scrap that. I would like to continue on the Showcase Limited name.
See you all next week. Thank you very much. You all go, and we'll continue this.